Good evening, and welcome to A Mind of Valor. This is day 10 of this 30-day challenge. If you've been following us, this 30-day challenge is purposed with helping me to strengthen my ability and capacity to go online and to do live broadcasts. So for the next 20 days now, I've tasked myself with going live every day to discuss a different topic. Over the last couple of days, I've been alternating between the morning and the evening. Tonight, I'm broadcasting in the evening, of course. And I'm glad you're able to join us again on this day 10 of this process and this experience. For today, let's just quickly double back to the things that we've been discussing earlier in the week. We've talked through vision, vices, orientation, our resolve over the last couple of days. And so to continue with this list of 25 contiguous valor principles for this A Mind of Valor show and experience, I wanted to talk about, pull from the list and talk about reciprocity. So once again, I've put here trusty Merriam-Webster dictionary. So I will read how they define reciprocity in here, and then I will dive in and pull it all together and conclude with bringing in the topics that we've been discussing earlier in the week to see how it all makes sense and how it can play into our overarching theme of asking better questions. Okay. The dictionary defines reciprocity as the quality or state of being reciprocal, mutual dependence, action, or influence. 2. A mutual exchange of privileges, specifically a recognition by one of two countries or institutions of the validity of license or privileges granted by the other. And then reciprocation, just because I think it's fitting. A mutual exchange, a return in kind of like value. So, you're asking, how did reciprocity find its way onto the list of these contiguous valor principles? Well, I'd say it's in the definition. Very well worded. The quality or state of being reciprocal, mutual dependence. What have you been talking about? We've been talking about a mind of valor, a mind or man in need of discipline. And these principles, vision, ambition, leadership, organization, resolve, value, vices, velocity, leadership, love, labor, all these things come together to put people in a position, you, the individual, myself, to make the most and get the most out of our minds and how we train our minds to engage the world and experiences. So when I think about reciprocity in particular, I think it's fitting because it is what we are doing here in this space right now. I have said it multiple times that it is my goal to increase my capacity and my drive and vision and push it to the forefront and contribute to the public discourse about a variety of topics. Reciprocity, based on this definition here, is that mutual dependence, that action, that alternating exchange of energy, privileges, and influence, right? So I'm here, in essence, making a public appeal to the world through this platform, saying, I have ideas. I have an understanding and a perspective that's unique. I want to contribute that to the public domain and enter the public conversation. Reciprocity would say then that you, the world, would return that energy in like kind, that the world would return my initiative with motion or action. That is the conversation. That is the call and response. And that is why reciprocity is important alongside the rest of these principles. So you may be wondering, how does reciprocity tie into the idea of asking better questions? Well, let me ask you this question. When you are engaging in conversation or relationship with someone, how much honesty do you want them to contribute to that relationship? Do you want them to be 50% honest, 50% of the time, 60%, 70%? Think about that. Or do you want honesty through and through? Do you want consideration through and through? Do you want empathy? Do you want patience through and through? Well, let me ask you this question in reverse. Of what we are asking of the world to give us, what are we contributing? How much patience? How much honesty? How much understanding? How much empathy? How much consideration? Are we willing and are we contributing to the world to benefit the world? Reciprocity would say what we put out, it comes back to us. It boomerangs back to us. Yesterday, we talked about orientation and orienting ourselves to spaces and ideas and the malleability that comes with securing an understanding in the front. Reciprocity would tell us in that same thread of understanding that I need to understand upfront what is the mutual exchange of value. When you're going to work for somebody else, you're obviously trading your time and your intellectual capital for money on the back end and equity and these other things. Reciprocity would have us to think about that in the frame of asking, when I'm in the frame of asking better questions, so you understand what the trade-off is. What are we exchanging for it's mutually beneficial to the both of us? What recognition, what influence, what action, dependence, privileges, license, validity, motion are we exchanging fair market value with the world or with ourselves, or with the world, and hoping to receive something in return? I'm pretty firm about certain things, and I don't think it is appropriate to always take more from a relationship than the relationship is able to give you. But again, just because I may have that ideology or think that way, it does not necessarily mean that the world thinks that way. That's why it's so necessary to have clarification in the beginning of instances, so you know what you are getting yourself into and you know what you are preparing to trade off. Because if there's no reciprocity, it's not an equal exchange. It's not an even trade-off. What I'm doing here, contributing to the public discourse and putting out information, in my opinion, in my perspective, I am sowing in with the hopes that it comes back in some other way, shape, or form, in some other space, that I can then leverage that and to do other things, to do bigger things, and to contribute in even more ways and in other spaces. Oh, as we think about reciprocity and how it plays into our everyday lives, I just want you to think about, and really think about this more frequently. How can I contribute more to the world? How can I contribute more to the conversation? How can I constantly be in a position where I'm fighting to add more value than I'm extracting? Going in with the intent to do more, be more, build more, contribute more to whatever experience that you're in, because on the back end, you believe that it will be returned to you. Sometimes it's an energy, sometimes it could be monetary, sometimes it's just a great feeling, knowing that you've done more for somebody else or you contributed more to an experience. That is a choice. But relevant to asking better questions, it's understanding that you have the right to contribute more but it's not reciprocity unless you're getting something in return. So as we engage experiences, as we engage the world with our time and our effort, think about, or I want us to be thinking about, how we can find the balance in the universe where we are contributing as much as we can possibly be taking out. Think adding value over extraction. Think multiplying effect. Think compounding. And just remember that, come on, you might as well come say hello. Hello. All right. I told you this is organic. This is real. And this is why I wanted to start this way, so you all could see the progression, the humble progression. And me and the young man had an exchange. I said, okay, I'm about to go shoot this live. I need about 20 minutes. Just quiet, throw your headphones on, relax, do what you got to do. Like, yeah, sure. Fair exchange. But somewhere in that communication, we did not, or he did not, or I did not articulate the specificity of what that meant. Therefore, he's able to come and kind of stroll through the stream. I don't mind, to be completely honest. But it's just one of those things where clarification up front makes a difference on the back end. So in regards to reciprocity, just think about that mutual exchange and the return in kind or like value that you can give to the world, and be prepared to receive what the world has to offer in exchange and what the world is prepared to give back to you. But always strive to give more and to add more value. The reciprocity will follow, because just because in the particular space that you're in, you don't think that people are seeing what you're doing, or you don't necessarily know if they value what your contributions are. Somebody's watching. Somebody's seeing you. There's somebody in the universe searching for what you have to offer. And you should just continue to build and structure and scaffold what you want to contribute, so that when point A and point B realize that they've been looking for each other, and they can multiply that value and compound that value and grow. Now, I am going to wrap up this day 10. I will come back to reciprocity a couple times because it overlaps with other ideas throughout this 30-day process. But I want to thank you for diving in and entertaining this idea and this particular principle that I wanted to share with you. And I look forward to seeing you on day 11.